Got you. Yeah. R&B Grammy. Free my brother. It's free to his backwards. Look.
All right, welcome to another edition of RSG One Mic. I'm here in the house. My name is Devon Wilson. I'm one of the co-hosts. Let me bring in my co-host with me, my man, the youngin, Darnell Kirkland Jr. How you doing, man?
Man, blessed and highly favored as always. We got the
That's it.
NBA draft tomorrow, so
Yes,
we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
yes. So we're
A
definitely
lot
gonna
of
be in
guys,
the
a lot
NBA
of
draft
decisions to
today.
make.
There we go. And then we got the Hammer. Chi-Town, the little stint in Milwaukee, Madison. Just Midwestern. Then an early part of the stage went way out there to Palo Alto. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to the draft tomorrow, especially my team's not on the clock, which is actually good because our GM is terrible. So he doesn't need to be on. He didn't mess with the team anymore. So and then they couldn't cheat right, so we lost a second round pick for a guy who is going to be medically shut down. So that's the state of the Bulls right now. But I hear we're going to get some nice trades with DeMar and possibly Zach and reshuffle. So maybe we got hope in Chicago.
Yeah, a lot of people looking to reshuffle. They're looking to reshuffle in DC with some stuff we got going around. So we're gonna spend the night. We're gonna spend this show, getting into right into the as my boy Hammer, my boy Marcus, the game changer, would say. We're gonna get right into the proceedings tonight. Sometimes we do some appetizers, but we're gonna get right into the proceedings. It's an NBA draft and a little bit of free agencies tapped into it, but we're gonna spend most of our time really talking about the NBA draft. I'm just gonna open up the floor a little bit. We're gonna kind of go right into it. Talk to me, Darnell. Some of your thoughts about the draft, some of the things that how you kind of looking at this draft, and some of the themes that you kind of looking at as you trying to start to get into this draft.
Yeah, well, when I think about this draft, obviously everybody's gonna talk about Victor Wembanyama for good reason. He's a talented prospect from out in France, but there's a lot of good talent in this draft. There's a lot of guys. No matter what you're looking for, you have the Thompson twins in there, Cam Whitmore, Jarris Walker, Anthony Black. You have a lot of talented players in this draft that and some of these guys they are getting overlooked. So we might see some guys in summer league like, wait, who is that guy? But yeah, there's a guys in this draft that can play. So that's going to be interesting, especially with the Nuggets. The Nuggets made that trade. Now they picking. Now they got two picks, late first, early second. So it's going to get interesting.
When everybody talks about Victor, you hear folks saying he's the best draft pick, or draft ever, even more so than LeBron. Are you buying into that?
No, you said better than
Yes,
LeBron. I wouldn't say he's better than
better
LeBron.
prospect.
Well,
Yeah.
uh,
Better
well,
prospect than LeBron was.
Yes. No
uh,
question. Yes, he
no, I
shoots
wouldn't.
better.
I
He's
wouldn't say. I
taller.
wouldn't
He's
say that.
I just
rebounds
heard
I
better.
wouldn't say that.
Corey
Uh,
Alexander on here. He didn't even stutter when he said that. Now,
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time because I watched LeBron. That
I
was a
watched
grown
LeBron
man.
too. Yeah. I
And
watched
sometimes
LeBron.
people
I
are,
watched this cat.
yeah.
Victor's
I
better,
think. I
but
think
is
it's
he
a.
gonna be a
I
better
think it's
player?
a.
Probably not.
I think it's a.
But
I think it's a wrong. I think it's a bad comparison. I would compare Victor Wembanyama more to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the prospect. But the only problem with that is Kareem played in college for 4 years. But it's the same kind of the idea of the guy from Power Memorial. He's 7'2", he's taught everybody, but he's not just 7'2". He's a guy that skilled. You know, he has that type of appeal to him. I don't think the LeBron thing I don't think it's the same as LeBron. But hey, you gotta prove it to me.
I mean,
But
as a
you know what?
prospect, everybody like LeBron. People believe LeBron is who he is now, right? People like they were believing this is what he's done was what they were thinking he could do at that time, right?
Yeah,
And
he filled
Victor is
out. He
seven
filled out.
five, falling out of bounds, throwing one leg up, hitting 3-point shots, and then going down and dunking a belly. He doing this against grown men in Europe, so it ain't like he doing it against weak talent. Like, what do you think? Like Hammer, you are like all in on. on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm all in as a prospect, but again,
Yeah,
we know that the probability he's not going to be LeBron James. So make clear the difference between a prospect and suspect, and what you like. I thought about this segment when before I came here. It's like you talk about D. Will's talent development,
yeah.
and so the main thing about he's got the skill to be the best player ever, but is he going to develop that way? We don't know that. There are a lot of factors that could inhibit him from doing so. But I think he has the best tools I've seen as a player come in the league. But that does not mean that he's going to become the best player, become the GOAT.
And I think that's what Corey Alexander was saying. Like from a skill level, he's like, it's no like the things he can do at 7'5"
Yeah,
is his handles. He's
yeah,
saying he might be one of the best shooters
yeah. He's a great shooter. I mean, you
like we
see,
might
he's
ever
a
see.
tremendous
He's like
shooter. He's a tremendous.
he said my nephew Wardell. I'm not gonna put him in, but he's an elite shooter. I'm like at 7'5". Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
where they
is
put
an
him.
elite shooter. If you see, he's an elite shooter at 7'5". As you said, the league he's in is no slouch with the Metropolitans, and he's got a great defender, great hair. There's nothing he cannot do on a basketball court as far as skill wise. The key is it going to transcend to the pro game? That's the main thing, and that's really what what we'll see what happens. You know
But
how
but
so
would you say we're kind of seeing that because he's playing the pro game right now, kind of
yeah
like we gave Dirk and I mean not Dirk but why am I losing my mind? Luca. I mean
yeah
Luca
Luca
was doing it against pros and he
yeah
continued to
yeah
do
yeah
it once he got here. Like it ain't like he's doing it against pros right now.
I agree, but again, like I said, there's different things with being a 7'5" guy with the wing type of skills he has and how he's going to be used. You know, Pop will use him, but he's a unique player in the sense that he can play inside and out. He's a great defender, great passer. I mean, he needs to gain some weight, obviously, or some muscle rather. We don't want to get him fat, but I think the main thing is that every skill set level he has, like Corey Alexander has, but the key is really talent development, like you would say. Yep.
Yeah, and
That's
I
the main thing.
disagree. He's the best shooter in this. I don't think he's the best shooter in this draft either. I don't think he shoot. I don't think he shoot better than Money. To be honest with you, he shoot 28% from three. It's a spectacle. It's a spectacle because he's 7'5" and he's shooting threes. But if you look at his actual statistics, he's only shooting 27.5% from three.
So but that can be improved, man. You know, that can be
Yeah, but
improved.
It
I mean,
can,
yeah,
but you
that
you see the highlights. Oh, he's doing all this crazy stuff. But
yeah, but you could say
I gotta see it.
his form and his
Papa
shot
mulled
look
that
good.
though. Yeah,
Like
his shot is fluid
It
when he's
looks
there.
good.
Yeah,
it
he's
It
look
19
looks
years
good. Yeah.
old too.
yeah, it
And
look
like even
good.
with Joker didn't shoot that well
Yeah,
before he came to the league. Keep it real.
yeah.
Now he's a phenomenal shooter. So I mean, the main thing again, he has a skill set to be the best. If I bet would he be the best better than LeBron? No, I would not bet that. Of course not. Because LeBron is still doing it, 39 years old. Killing him 21 years later. So there's something my MJ didn't do.
Well, we'll see. So once we get beyond that, we know who number one gonna be. We know that. We know who number one gonna be. So when you look, and there's a lot of debate about what's happening after this, but when you start looking beyond number one, into some of the other guys, you know, we've seen guys are hitting. We've seen guys hit later in the draft. We see guys where did Jokic go 40 something or whatever,
Yeah.
like and so like all these top guys are not gonna hit. One of the struggles, and I know we kind of exchanged this in our prep around, and I was trying to get my head around it, and I think Darnell's really bringing this point out. Like some of these guys might be really good role players, but because where they're drafted, the expectation was higher. But they can have really strong, long careers, probably contributing on championship teams, right? And then some of these guys are going to be realizing who they are in terms of where they were drafted. And then obviously there's going to be some guys who are later in these drafts who going to be on these lists, like Jokic, right? And so when you look at this draft, who are the guys that people are really high on, but you like, they all right, they're gonna be good. They might be good for 15 years, but they're not gonna be who you think they are. Like they'll make all stars, they're not gonna be perennial. They might not be all star, NBA, but they make a contribution. Who are those guys that everybody's talking about that you think they're gonna be solid? They're gonna be on. They might be on championship squads, but they're not what everybody think they're gonna be. Darnell, I'll talk with you because I know this is something that you've been kind of thinking about.
Well, hope I'm wrong. I'll be glad to be wrong, but when I don't see it with Cam Whitmore.
Mm,
Everybody's saying, "Oh, the Pistons, like better pick Cam Whitmore. They
yeah.
gotta pick Cam Whitmore." But I'm thinking I'm looking at like is not necessarily fluid. You know what I'm saying? He's athletic. He's definitely athletic. He has like a 40-inch vertical. He can shoot it a little bit. 6'7", 230. But I'm a little weary of guys that you know that Ben Simmons, the Markel Fultz, they
Yeah.
play in college, but they can't lead they can't lead their team to the tournament. Villanova wasn't in the tournament if I'm not mistaken.
They were
They were
not.
in NIT, right? They're in the
Yes,
NIT,
sir. Yeah, they're NIT, yeah. With the
and
Badgers. They ain't saying too much.
I don't know, I don't know, but like I said, and he doesn't necessarily defend at a very high level either. He has the tools to defend at a high level, but he doesn't necessarily do it. So I'm just like, he's a guy I'm kind of shaky on. Um,
I would
as
agree with
far as a
that.
guy that could be
I want to say I would agree with that. And there's something about the Nova players. They're good pros, right? They tend to be good pros. But when you draft at this spot, you ain't looking for just a good pro, right? At
They're not one
5,
and dones. They're not one and dones either. That's another thing. These
yeah.
guys are one and
And
done.
this is the one and
yeah,
done.
he's
They usually get a chance
Yeah.
to marinate, right? The
he
Villanova
has a
way is
developmental
marination,
school.
right?
He has a
And Jay Wright
developmental
didn't coach him either.
Yeah, Jay Wright didn't
no, he
coach him.
didn't.
Okay. So who else you got?
Yep. So a guy that's going to be a real solid role player, man, Jarris Walker. Every time I watch him, man,
Yeah.
he strikes me as almost like a Ron Artest type defender. Watching his defensive instincts, his strength, he really gets off the floor. His swing skill is going to be his shooting. If he can knock it down at the NBA level, then you're looking at a border like he's gonna be a key starter on the playoff team. Somebody that you really that can swing championship runs. I see that type of future in a guy like Jarris Walker.
Hmm. A guy I'm kind of I liked, and they had some struggles, and they kind of came on late that I think has some tools, and I'm just nervous about where they're projecting him to go. Now they got new leadership in there. I just don't know about their player development and their history because where they might be projecting to go with. I like Anthony Black. He got so many tools, and if he can develop a more consistent shot. But that kid has fun. He gets after it. They had some issues. They had some injuries. Arkansas. I always felt like Arkansas underperformed overall, but there was some other issues. And watching their coach, he can kind of sometimes grind on you up close and personal. But that's a kid I think can be get lively. Now lively, what I was understanding, he had a mixed career, right or no? At
Yeah, he had a
um,
mixed career. He didn't get as much minutes.
A
He didn't
mixed
have the
year.
impact like Philip
mixed year, I would
Hostetler.
say mixed year, but he
Yeah,
seems
mixed
to
year,
be
but
yeah.
his
I
draft stock is climbing. So yes,
it's
Well, he
climbing.
he he came on late. He came on late. Like he came in. Him and Derek Whitehead were expected to really carry this team
Yeah,
to be a one of the top teams to make a push in the final four, but Whitehead had the foot injury. Lively didn't he didn't start the season as you would hope. Offensively, he's shown that he can shoot like
yeah,
during the pre-draft workouts. He's shown that he can
yeah,
shoot, but really like if you watch Duke, if he's not catching lobs, if he's not
yeah,
getting a little dump off pass for a dunk, he's not doing much offensively.
yeah,
He's one of those guys. He's a vertical rim protector. He's almost like a JaVale McGee type.
yeah,
If I had a comparison for Derek Lively, it would be JaVale McGee. And
yes,
he really did come on towards the end of the season, but it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes because he could be a guy that you could see Dallas picking up, you could see the Warriors picking up, um a team that really needs some rim protection in there.
and he's so he. And that they're looking at Dallas. People got him in that top 10, probably at the lower half of it, still in the lottery. But like you're describing, he could be a really solid piece, right? In that spot. Um, solid pro. That's a really strong role player on a really good team, right? He got all the measurables. Well, he's 7'2". He gonna put the weight on. He got a 7'7" wingspan, so he could do all that like that you're talking about. For him to be the kind of person he might want to do, is he extending the range? Is he gonna add more to his game? Is there other pieces he can do as development? But he gonna be, if he does all those things. I mean, we only had a freshman year to watch, but it feels like he's got to go to the right team. And the guys that you feel like got to go to the
Yeah.
right team is that's what makes me nervous. Now, Dallas has always been
He's
decent with player development, but yeah, he got to go to the right team.
yeah, he's one of those guys because what's the difference between that type of player and a Jackson Hayes,
Yeah,
you know, or a guy like who's my guy from Texas that came out a couple years ago, Jericho Sims.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference between him being a type of guy that sticks on like a contending team that can really contribute, and a guy that's he's an athlete but he doesn't stick.
Hammer, you got any?
That's the swing.
You got any guys that you're seeing that you think outside of some of those top guys who you think they're gonna go? People are high on them, but I think they're gonna be role players, or people aren't as high on they should be. This kid, I think, can do it.
One kid that really jumped out of the spot that surprisingly is Hawkins. I think Hawkins is going to be a nice.
Yeah. I think people
player.
are sleeping on him.
Yeah,
that kid.
Well, they're not sleeping. He'll get first round money now, but
he's gonna get first round money. But
but they were sleeping on him.
When they see him play, they're gonna be like, he should have been much higher.
Yeah, well, he's got really high. I think the thing that showed he's got really high IQ as far as basketball IQ. He's got grit, so I think that's the main thing. And also, he just hasn't things have been given to him. So I think he came in this process second round, and he's really worked himself up.
Let's not act like he got handled. He can go at people. Like, let's not play him like
go at people,
but
he's not. He's not the type of talent that you would look at and say first round. Like, come on now. I mean, am I wrong though?
He gonna go first round, but he hired some of these guys. Some of these guys are getting the youth on their side.
I'm saying if you look at him, you don't think. I ain't talking about this the way he looks. It's race. I'm talking about basically. You look at him, he's not the type of player you're gonna say, but he's a really good. Another guy that people are sleeping on that is gonna be a surprising guy is this kid Santa Clara. This Brandon Podesky. Watch him. Yeah, watch him. He reminds me of a Christian Braun type. He's got a nice mid-range game, shooting game. He came out of nowhere. He was in Illinois and got no ticks and went to Santa Clara and exploded on the scene. So, mid-level guy, but a guy that's really shown fluidity. He's really shot the drive charts. Was kind of high second with his playing now. The shooting, premium shooting right now in the league, definitely late first round. So, and then the last guy I would say is the brother they call OMP Olivier
Omac. Yep.
Yeah, Omac. Yeah, he can ball. He's a guy. I think he'll grow a little bit. He's 6'8", probably put a little 20 more pounds on. Yeah. But nice fluid game. I like the fact he's I'm a big Shaka Smart fan. His game really transcends the pro level as far as being a sort of a very athletic four, or even can play the three with a good shot in a Big East. So those are guys I like so far. I've really been watching the draft process. Who shot up, the guys who were shot up from second round, come in the process the first round that I like to see, who look like solid role players who could maybe be better than that. So yeah.
Yeah, but if we're looking at those second round guys, there's a couple guys like Andre Jackson from remember Andre Jackson from that UConn championship team.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a solid role player.
He's a nice player.
Especially if he can figure out how to shoot. Like if he can really push, he can play defense. He can push the paint kind of like push the pace kind of like a Draymond Green kind of role. You got Wilson from
Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah,
he's gonna be in there at the top of the second round.
I don't know about that. I look at middle. I'm seeing middle right now. He's slipping. So he was top. He's slipping. Yeah, he's slipping. Drafting. I trust the NBA draft net. He's slipping.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, late first, you got Trace Jackson Davis. I heard.
He'll go late first.
I heard of the Nuggets
looking at. Not to jinx him, but.
Yep. I heard the Nuggets are looking at him, and just imagine
Bailey,
that.
Right? Amari Bailey.
Yeah, Amari Bailey.
Yeah, those would be good, solid picks because they're.
And I think Trace is a much higher pick than they got him reported down there. Like, that kid can play. They have him See, this is where people are gonna be like,
Well,
"What was you thinking?"
well, you know what's happening, D.
Well,
Wells,
you
is
gotta.
that they're punishing these kids for staying in school. They find every little thing. It reminds me. Remember William
Yeah,
Buford?
punishment will get you fired.
Well, I don't know about that, but William Buford's a perfect example. Remember, William Buford was supposed to be a lottery pick with his first year, and he didn't go pro. Every year he stayed at Ohio State, he slipped and went down and never got
I mean,
drafted. So it seems like
they
the
got
longer you
two
stay in school,
Michigan
the longer you
players
poke
ahead of
holes
him.
in your game.
They got two
Oh,
Michigan players ahead of him.
Jet Howard and
Yeah,
Kobe Bufkin. Yeah.
Buffkin and Jared are higher than Trace. Yeah.
And you know,
It's just
I
their
like
potential.
Michigan, but I'm like, that
No,
kid
it's
can play.
potential, D. Wells, potential. They're one and done, so they're gonna pick them. They've seen too many flaws, and
Kobe
that's
might have been
I'm
there
telling these
too.
kids.
Potential
You
will
go
get you
first round,
potentially
you need to
fired.
go. You need to go. Well,
Potential
that's
will get
true.
you
You can't
potentially
get fired,
fired.
but a lot of scouts they got E too. They got E2. And they can pick holes in the game.
We gonna capture this tape right here. We know this. Like, we capture this right here. We're gonna hold this tape.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna hold this tape.
I would say even in a year at this time, we're gonna be like, damn,
Yeah.
that should have been a little
But
bit higher.
another thing to throw at you though, Trace
He's that
Jackson
good. Why did he
Davis.
come out 3 years ago? That's what I'm saying. That's
Trace
what
Jackson
scouts would
Davis
say.
he's a traditional four, and in
He is.
today's
He's gonna be a
league,
nice
they
four.
don't today's league doesn't really love traditional fours like they used to. Like
Yeah,
the
they also
Elton
didn't love a lot
Brand,
of bigs until they
Carlos
started winning
Boozer.
championships. But he got all the
Yeah.
tools. You can see it. You can see he got a little bit of the handle. He can pull up. Like, there's stuff there that's better than half the cats up the list. And he
Yeah,
can
see,
defend.
Aaron Gordon's play is gonna help him.
I'm gonna
Maybe
tell you
even
right
go
now,
higher
if
than
Denver
draft
gets
day.
him,
Yeah,
it's gonna be like they stealing.
that's what I'm saying. Aaron Gordon's
It's going to be
play
like
is
they
gonna help
stealing
him.
because that high-low
He might
action.
go higher than what he's projected.
They are
But
stealing.
Jokic,
They stealing.
yeah.
They stealing.
Again, D was they're punishing him for being in school for 4 years. I got to tell this kid, Jabari Parker broke it down. If you're a first rounder, you need to go, because every year you stay, they're gonna try to poke holes in your game. You're exposing yourself. So the main thing is get your money now, especially if you get first round money. Get it. You start the clock. Even you get second round. Look at Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. just opted in for $18.5 million after being a second round pick, like 41 or something. So again, bad freshman year in college, but I'm just saying that's the thing. But Trace could probably do better, yeah. But these scouts,
It's interesting.
they get paid for a reason, bro.
They're projecting Chris Murray.
Yeah, he'll go in the first round.
Keegan's brother might end up. They looking at he might go to Sacramento. Boy, they gonna have that Murray family locked us down. Huh?
Yeah, well, that'd be nice. Back up his brother. He's not as good as his brother, but he's good.
No.
But I see him going GSW. I see my mock. He's going GSW. So.
Wait, which GSW pick? Because GSW they have 19,
19.
I don't know if he'll go that early.
Watch, I've seen him go earlier than that. He slipped in the draft process somewhat, man. He slipped in the draft process. He was like Lowry most of the year. He slipped down a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Then they exposed him. Him being another year in school hurt him.
Yeah. Anybody seen any Maxwell Lewis?
Yeah, he's a good player.
Pepperdine
cat, he can play.
Yeah, Pepperdine.
Yeah, that's one thing about this draft. There's all these wing players, these fluid, positionless players who can play, 6'7", 6'8", 6'6". That are fluid players back and forth. So against what the NBA game has evolved to, positionless basketball basically. So you talk about like Anthony Black, that D. Will's talking about cats can probably play three positions if he gains a little more weight or muscle rather. Something like that. Or Maxwell, you talk about Maxwell Lewis, perfect example. Very fluid, guy, wing player. Yeah. Pepperdine. Yeah. So Lorenzo Lamar got another draft pick there. So yeah. So back at Pepperdine. Yeah. So yeah.
He's gonna play somewhere in the league.
Oh, he gonna play. I mean, he's a good player. Again, they gonna find you if you can play in the NBA. It's too much money on the line. Their salary cap went up big time too. Gonna go up big time. So yeah, they're gonna find you.
So there's some talk around, like we've had some free agency moves, right, or in potential. There's a lot of talk around Zion possibly moving or not. If you were New Orleans, would you try to, if there was a willing partner, someone like
he needs to go.
Someone like Portland who got to show that they're gonna try and do something now.
New York, Knicks.
Yeah. do you move? So you say move on him? You try to move on him?
Yeah, you got to move. I mean, my understanding, Zion's got no relationship with the Pelicans now. He's lost respect with his teammates. You got people like C.J. McCollum calling him out on national TV, international TV. Shoot, it ain't national TV now. NBA's international. So yeah, Zion I mean, the weight problem, can't wait to eat. Just got too many problems with the problem with the porn stars. I mean, it's ridiculous. The dad cutting up. You got his stepdad cutting up and talking on his behalf. I mean, it's a mess right now. So he just needs to start over and flip the script. He needs to go to another place. He needs to read his brand. I mean, he's really hurt his brand badly. He got his max deal, but his personal reputation is just ruined right now. From the weight problems to the baby mamas to the mess sex tape coming out supposedly, it's craziness. And so he lost. So he needs to go to another place and just restart.
Man, I'm just like, man, these two cats from the same area, our area. We're gonna be down near them in South Carolina. Him and Ja, same AAU. Both of these brothers.
My dad's from Sumter, South Carolina. It's a shame.
Yeah.
They ruined South Carolina. South Carolina. They were the jewel of South Carolina. Now they're just like the disgrace, the shame of South Carolina.
Darnell, where you at on this?
If I'm Portland, I can't wait to make this deal.
Yeah.
I'm getting Michael Jordan on the phone. Like, Brandon Miller's looking great. Pick Brandon Miller, so I can go ahead and
I think they're picking Scoot myself. I think they're picking Scoot though. I don't think they'll pick Brandon. I think Killer's not gonna get picked by them. I'm sorry.
I mean, can you imagine
MJ's last pick? You ain't picking Killer's last pick.
Can you imagine the screen roll game with Dame and Zion? Like, can you imagine what them cats?
Zion plays, yeah. Zion
he gonna play.
Yeah.
See, part of this is the organization got some problems with this too, and Griff got to take this because the setup was wrong from the beginning. And I said this early on. I'm like, the setup is wrong, and you really need to be pushing him early. And that's part of it, to see how willing he was committed to being with your organization. Now they're trying to go back and do some things they should have done the first year. But so that's part of it. But man, we saw some of the stuff happening with injuries and inactivity in Philadelphia too, with the process. And now the patience paid off.
But I don't think anyone questioned Embiid's willingness and desire to play like they're doing Zion.
Yeah.
Embiid was hurt.
Yeah,
Embiid was hurt. Okay, but Zion, you got all this extracurricular activity with the starring.
Yeah, but I'm not putting that on there because a lot of these players. There's a lot of players who are very productive who are in that space. I'm not gonna get to his personal life, but he ain't the only one.
I'm just saying. I'll put it this way, D Wills. I'm hoping the brother puts together, but I'll put it this way. He ain't showing a good track record.
Yeah.
He ain't showing a good track record.
Yeah, but neither did Barkley. Neither did Barkley in year 1 or 2.
He's big as a bull, bro. He's big as a bull.
But Barkley struggled year 1 and 2 too.
Barkley played though. Barkley never took off.
I understand that, but those are things. There are times lights come on for young people. Like, most of them cats don't. Like I would say, what did Chris Paul tell?
My point, he needs a trade to turn the light on.
You gotta get a shot.
Everything else hasn't done. He needs a trade to turn the light on because the light ain't on right
now. You got. First thing Chris Paul tells him to do is get a shot. Right? There's times where it's gonna click for him, but when he on the court, he killing you. Like, I'm with Darnell. Like, if I'm Portland,
when he's on the court.
If I'm Portland, I'm not walking.
I don't know. You gotta pray for everybody that makes that deal. You gotta pray before you make the deal, because you don't know if you're getting Zion, who was out for the whole year, or Zion, who was playing bully ball these cats and killing them. So that's the thing about it. This is the type of, you talk about GMs getting fired. This type of deal is going to get GM fired.
And the thing about that is, it is Portland. And if you look at Portland is the place that has Sam Bowie. Portland is also the place that had Greg Oden. They had Brandon Roy. And, so bringing a guy like Zion, it does sound good. It sounds really good. But if it goes bad, it's just
going to New York.
It's going to be on the long line.
I think if you're New Orleans, I'm keeping him. You was like first, second place when he was playing. So I think they're gonna keep him. Grissom gonna keep him
No, they're gonna
because you're not
trade
gonna get
him,
enough
man. Too
value
many
for him.
real rumors out. Too many rumors. They're gonna trade him, man.
No, they're not getting enough
They're gonna
for
trade
him,
him.
and not restarting. Griffin's not at a point where he's trying. It'd be different. Trying to restart.
He's like a stock diminishing returns, basically.
Yeah, but
He's
you
like
got to be able to get over the top.
He's like Theranos. He's like Theranos.
Nah, they ain't getting rid of him.
He's like Theranos.
All right, Bradley Bill moves to Phoenix. Moves being happening with some of this stuff. Moves are happening. I still think they got some moves to make. I'm not really confident with what they got going on enough to say that's going to get them over the top. Especially when I think some of these other teams can make some moves. What y'all thought about that move with Bradley?
A guy who played 50 games last 2 years, another loser going with KD. I mean, that's what I see it as. And then who's going to play point guard? What Book?
Oh,
Beal? Who's going to play point guard?
Booker was playing point.
Booker was killing him at point.
Last
Yeah,
season.
Booker's fine.
Nah, dude.
And they need somebody to get them offense, and Booker's good enough, and they're going to keep your boy
They're going to get
as the backup.
At the bottom, like you said, they got to make many more moves before they got a nice big four now. They trade Aiden, the big three, but they have no depth whatsoever. And these cats are going to be playing 40 plus minutes, and they all, except for Book, two of them got major injury histories. So I don't like the move. It would have been better for him to be in Miami, but he has no trade clause. So he wanted to be in Phoenix. He's in Phoenix. Plain simple.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's going to depend on what they do with Aiden. I think you can get some stuff.
They're going to trade Aiden, man. They're going to trade Aiden. I mean, when you see all these stories coming out about how him and Miney get along, they're smearing them in public. You don't do that unless you get rid of a player. Cats don't get on the record, start capping on cats unless they have authorization to do so. So that's the main thing. Go ahead.
So the reason why I went in that storyline, because when you go back to the draft, it's about who you trust. And so when you're looking at the top of these, you're looking at these picks, and it's going back to what Darnell was saying. Every year when we're talking, we talking about all these cats like they're potential Hall of Famers, right? Everybody, you hear all the superlatives.
I'm not.
I'm saying we gonna
Darnell might be, because Darnell's all in this.
We're gonna keep it real up in here.
Draft stuff.
Yeah, and the reason why I think Victor's gonna be fine, because he's going to San Antonio. Whatever's gonna happen.
He'd be fine anywhere, man. I think he'd be fine. He's a tremendous talent.
But San Antonio has proven.
It's the best place for him.
Yeah, you going to Hall of Fame. But it's not just about.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. He should go to the Hall of Fame, but we'll see.
But their records speak for itself.
I agree.
Am I lying?
Again,
am I lying?
But sometimes records are made to be broken.
Trust him.
Because records are made to be broken, brother.
So now the only thing you get nervous about is he's 7'5", and we've had some cases with 7'5" people, but he seems to be doing all these kind of exercises and all this other stuff they say he's doing. Compared from
everything he needs to do, like I said, he should be a Hall of Famer. We'll see. I don't think he will be.
Charlotte, do you trust it? Now everybody talking about Scoot Henderson going there, but is that where he gonna go to die as a ball? Is he gonna be the last? You know what I'm saying?
I trust Scoot Henderson I think he's a mature guy. Hard worker. He's already reached out to Steph Curry as a mentor. He's been working with Steph Curry, so I think he's a guy that he's somebody you can trust. But if you're Charlotte, do you like the fit between?
Well, I'm saying, do you trust Charlotte? Do you trust Charlotte?
No, because my MJ got the pick, so that's a problem. MJ got the pick, so MJ got the pick.
You could be the best player in the world. Next thing you know, they're gonna call him the second coming of Bradley Beal because he's scoring all these points. He's doing all this stuff, but they ain't winning.
He might. I mean, might take Anthony Black there. Who knows?
And two,
man, might be doing crazy stuff, man. Come on, man. Mike is my favorite player, but I ain't gonna lie. If he wanted to go by the Bulls, I'd be like, oh no, please, bro, please no.
If I'm Portland,
Adam Morrison, Frank Kaminsky, I mean, he's played some bad cats, dude.
If I'm Portland,
bad moves.
I'm sticking with Brandon Miller.
And Mitch is still picking. I think
if I'm Portland, I'm sticking with. I'm sticking with Brandon Miller because he's a dog. That cat gets after people. Yeah, he's been in some stuff, but between them lines,
too much stuff.
Between them lines,
I wouldn't touch him. Killer, I call him Killer. I wouldn't touch Killer.
He a dog.
I wouldn't touch Killer. Man.
All right, we got you on tape. We got you on tape.
I wouldn't touch Killer.
We
and then look what he did. Look what he did. The biggest stage. He flopped. He flopped. Was he 4-25? What was he done now? That brother was throwing up bricks.
But he was throwing up bricks. He was shooting.
Yeah,
he wasn't shy. But he's a dog. He's a dog.
He didn't give up confidence. I give that.
He's a dog.
He lose
And,
confidence.
and,
I
and the
agree
thing
with that.
about it is,
That's the only
in
good
the
thing about that
league, he
game.
gonna have in spacing playing with playing in Portland. He gonna have looks that he gonna be able to do some things with in space. I like him, man. He a dog. But
I
I
like
trust
his
Portland to figure
talent.
it
I
out.
don't like the off the field stuff. I like his talent.
Yeah, but you in Portland. He gonna be like Bill Walton over there, hanging out with some other stuff, and he might learn to learn nuts and cheese, and he ain't get Portland might be the best place for him. He do. And then the Rockets. I don't know. Y'all talk to me about the Thompsons.
Oh man.
What's
Well, there's
give me something, Darnell, for the
there.
people who don't know about these brothers. They come through with
Amen.
value.
Amen Thompson is
Or overtime
one of the
elite. Sorry
most.
about that. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Amen Thompson is one of the most athletic players I've ever seen.
Mm,
Oh, athletic prospects I've ever seen. This dude gets off the ground so effortlessly, it's ridiculous. But the problem is his shooting form is atrocious. It needs a lot of work. It needs a whole lot of work. But if you're the Rockets, that's a real interesting fit because him and Jalen Green instantly become the most athletic backcourt in the league.
mm.
And it's going to be something people going to have to deal with, especially if they lock in on the defensive end. That's going to be something that other teams are going to have a hard time dealing with. His swing skill is obviously his shooting. He's also a very good passer.
Mm.
Athletically, he reminds me a lot of Grant Hill. Just his suddenness, like the sudden first step. He's he's a really good passer. He reminds me a lot of Grant Hill, except he just like Grant Hill, he needs to work on that. Jumper.
Mm.
But Grant Hill, he figured it out. So let's see if Amen can do the same. But if we're talking about the other Thompson twin,
Yeah,
Asar Thompson,
yeah.
his shot is a lot more farther along.
Mm.
The
Amen's
form
okay.
looks good.
Amen's okay.
Yeah, we're talking about Asar Thompson right now.
Yeah,
Asar
yeah. I heard you
Thompson,
talking about the twins. Yeah,
he
excuse
can,
me.
he can. His form's a lot better than Amen's right now. He can shoot. He's projected as a pretty good shooter.
Mm.
His defense is his main thing. Like he's a guy. Like when you're watching Chino Hills, like you could tell that Alonzo, Leangelo, and LaMelo, when they were growing up together, they always played together. So the games kind of complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
You could kind of see the same type of thing with Amen and Asar, because you could tell Amen was the guy who was always on the ball, right? He's a passer.
That's why he's a point
He's
guard.
super
The other one's
athlete.
not. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Asar has that off the ball skill set. He has that
Mm-hmm.
defense. He can shoot it a little bit, and he also has some. He might not be as explosive as Amen is, but he's still pretty vertically explosive. And if I had a comparison, it would be a little bit of Andrew Wiggins, except for he's not as bouncy as Andrew Wiggins. Like if you go back and watch Andrew Wiggins in high school, it was the stuff he could do back then was a little bit different. But I think you're looking at a similar type of player in the Asar Thompson.
Okay. Well, hey, we gave him a little bit of taste of the NBA draft. We are going to, all of us are going to be glued. We usually try to grade these drafts because we have a foot in academics. We're going to figure out who's on probation, who's on that honor roll, who needs to get some help. Now, as we look at it, because we'll be able to see how the free agency games playing out along with the draft, and we'll be able to get a better sense of how this stuff is emerging. Summer league will be kicking off, so this is a good time. It's interesting how this time of year is like taking over in ways that growing up, we weren't even thinking about this stuff at this time of year, and there's so much more energy around some of the stuff in the NBA draft and then the summer league and all these things that it's kind of like the NBA owning more of the real estate in this media space because of all the different things that are happening. So it's all good. We're gonna get to this point where we can drop the mic a little bit here and give out our flowers to the folks and say what we got to do. I'm gonna start with the young and Darnell. He always has something. Sometimes when we start with this brother, we just might as well just stop. He's been hitting us with some good ones. Go on, Darnell. Give us who you want to drop the mic. Who you want to get some flowers to?
Man, I was watching some boxing the other day, and I want to give my flowers to somebody. It's gonna come out the blue. You might know what I'm talking about, but Larry Holmes.
Mm.
Larry Holmes is one of the most he's one of the, I wouldn't say forgotten because people know who Larry Holmes is, but he is one of the best heavyweights of all time. Has probably the best jab of all time, and he goes unrecognized because his era was in between Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, two of the biggest names to ever put on gloves. But Larry Holmes, man, he started off 49-0, I believe, before he lost to Spinks. But yeah, that's somebody I want to give my flowers to. If you listen to this, go back, watch Larry Holmes versus Ernie Shavers. Go back, watch Larry Holmes versus Ken Norton, and some of those fights from the late '70s. And you'll be in for it. You'll be in for a treat.
Mm.
Darnell,
All
drop the mic.
right. Thank you, man. I love you. You always got a good one. All right. Hammer.
I'm gonna flip the script. I'm gonna give my flowers to the Cincinnati Reds. We don't talk about baseball that much, but I want to talk about it right now. A team is finally relevant again after many years, after the Big Red Machine, talking about almost 48, 50 years. Finally relevant young players like John India, Joey Votto coming back. Again, capturing 11 in a row, capturing the minds of the fans and people, and making baseball, especially this new era of baseball, is faster, better, and then just more exciting. Definitely, David Bell and the Cincinnati Reds are showing, the very exciting team that could possibly make a run in the World Series. And so I want to give my flowers out to Cincinnati Reds for making baseball relevant again and relevant in the Midwest of Cincinnati. So drop the mic.
All right. And I'm crossing over a little bit here. I want to give a little of my other hat in my other role I had. We had a really great event, Juneteenth in Milwaukee, and with our alumni of color, with great opportunity, hosted by the Brewers. And so I want to thank our folks over there at Milwaukee Brewers for being great hosts for me and my colleagues from University of Wisconsin, from the College of Letters and Science. It was a great experience over there. Want to thank Mayor Johnson and the folks. It was just a great experience coming together on Juneteenth to think about some of the work we're trying to do. And so it's just great to be in that space. And we had an opportunity to talk to some industry leaders and in terms of business stuff. But the Brewers stood up, and we had some alums there who really hosted that space. I want to thank them for doing that thing and being great hosts for us on a important day in American history that we got a lot of work to do, but it starts with those kind of conversations. So until next time, we'll see y'all on the other side. This is my name, Devon Wilson. I'm here with my man Darnell Kirkland Jr. and Carl the Hammer Hampton, and take it out. We'll see you soon.